Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hair Transplant Reality. I am in Brazil right now, and I just want to go ahead and update you guys. There's some big stuff coming. I am going to be putting up the old content that I missed for 6, 9 month, and the 1 year results. Those videos are coming in the next couple weeks here, guys. I'll post one a week so you're not overwhelmed. I also have some educational content to go over. I also have a PRP session I did that I wanted to show you how it went and what to expect with PRP. So we'll be discussing PRP in a video in the next month. I did that in Turkey, actually. So we're going to be talking about all the stuff that's planned for the rest of this channel. I am going to be active again on here, very active, and we have some really cool insights onto what can be done. So today will kind of be a planning video, and I will target it by starting out and saying this should be about planning your own hair transplant. And then I'll talk about how I'm planning my transplant for the last one and how I'm planning my future for hair, okay? So just a little advice for you guys if you haven't gotten a hair transplant yet and you are losing hair, you need to plan for hair loss, okay? So what does that mean? Very simply, this means that you need to be thinking about, are you gonna be doing medication? Are you okay with future thinning or hair loss? Are you aware of what your future hair loss can be? In things like this. So basically what I mean by that is, like, if you're just starting out, right, and let's say you have widow peaking, right, like this area is starting to go, just the front, like a Norwood 1 or 2. Sorry, my hair is all messy. But if you have that kind of scenario going on, you know, is it right to get a hair transplant? Well, of course, if you want to go do it, man, it's your hair. You should do what makes you happy. I always believe in that. Now, I do believe no matter what stage you're at, you should be going after solutions to stop the hair loss and see how much you can regain. So you should be on a 12-month trial of products to see what you can actually do to get your hair back. This is the best way to always handle hair loss. Not everything will work for you, and it could take you 18 to 24 months to see what is best, but you have to give everything at least 6 months, guys. You cannot stop. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I tried shampoo and, you know, my hair started falling out even more. And it's like, yes, most things that actually help you regrow hair, they actually make hair fall out that's weak. So if you have thinning hair that's, like, you know, about to fall out or is weak, your new thing like minoxidil or some even, you know, hair shampoos or finasteride, they will make all those weak hairs fall out, and you'll have a ton of shedding the first few months, and then it'll stop, and then it'll start regrowing thicker, better roots. You know what I mean? So you basically start with a thin, and then it gets a thicker root for the next hair that grows back in. So it has to get rid of the thin hair first so it can juice the root up. This is the basic principle of almost all. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. You should be referring to a doctor or a physician for all of your questions and needs, but I'm just trying to give you some advice to get you on the right path so you understand how things work, okay? And there's tons of things. You could be doing minoxidil, finasteride. There's a ton of different options. Those are the main medical ones that are actually, you know, pills or topical that people put on their heads. And then, you know, the topicals have less actual reaction with your blood, typically, on a very high case-to-case basis, obviously, but majority of topical things don't break the blood-brain barrier. It depends on their formula, so do your research. But those tend to have less side effects, which is good, but they also tend to be more expensive and not have generic versions. Unlike minoxidil, for example, you can get 1 milligram pills for almost nothing for a 90-day supply. And if you go for finasteride, the cheapest way to do it is to go to somewhere like Costco, and you can literally get like 90 pills for like $15 or something. It's absolutely a joke. So it's very cheap to do versus most topical solutions are $50 to $75. And are they better? Yes, for some people. And honestly, I will probably be doing topical for something here in the future. I am debating what I'm going to do with that, and I'll talk about that later, but let's continue on with you guys. One of the things that you have to also take into consideration is future hair loss based on where you have thinning. So, like, let's say you have no hair here, but you have like thinning in the back a little bit. You need to realize that anywhere there's thinning means that a lot of hair has already been lost. If you see thinning, it means that majority of the hair has already fallen out in that area, more than 50%, and that's why you see the scalp. And so because of that, it means that you need to try to save the hair that's left there because it will go also. So if you went and had a hair transplant that looks fully dense, in 1 to 5 years or 10 years, all that other hair that was, you know, there before is going to be gone, and only the hair transplanted hair is going to stay. So you have to realize that when planning for hair loss. And that means don't go do a surgery for just a small area and put 5,000 grafts in without thinking about the rest of your head and what you want to achieve, because you might end up with not enough donor grafts to do what you really want with your hair for the future, because you might only have 7,000 or 5,000 or 9,000 in the back of your head. It depends on the person, okay, guys? Not many people have over 8 to 10,000 hair grafts that can be transferred. Most people are in the 5 to 8,000 range. And that's just from what the research I've done and doctors I spoke to. But you don't want to go burn out all your donor and have no way to fix it if something goes wrong or if you have future hair loss. These are things to consider. And it's why I don't support a lot of Turkish clinics, because they try to give you these massive surgeries no matter what your current hair loss is or future potential losses. They don't plan for it. And that's my problem with them. It's not even, there are problems with like quality, but I also just have the problem of they don't care about the future of your hair after that first surgery. So it's like, and they rush you to get back in for a second surgery. For even the clinics that do like 3,000 to 5,000 grafts, they'll literally at like month 6 be like, come get a second transplant. You're starting to see results. You look great. Come get a second transplant. And it's like, no, that's a bad idea, because you can damage hair here and here that are healing because you can't see what's under the skin that hasn't popped through yet. So you need to give your hair 12 to 24 months to fully heal, both in the donor and in the top, to grow in. And everyone could be, you could be a quick grower and you could have 90% results by 9 months. And you could also have 50, It depends on the person. Typically, people have 50% results approximately with, the density they're going to achieve by the end by 6 months. And you start to see really great results right at the month 3 to 5 to 6. Like 3 to 6 months right there is where you see this drastic change in density. But then your hair really starts to, the rest of them pop through the skin, and the hair that had grown the first 3 months start to, densify and thicken. So you start to get those full results between month 12 and 24. And there's very few changes typically between month 18 and 24, but there is little minor changes, of course. So hopefully this is helpful to all the people that are watching and looking for hair transplants. And if you're looking to plan one and you need help, I do consultation. You can email or DM me, and I do consults. I'm going to put a link on my website to hairtransplantreality.com for consultation. And if that will help you out, I'm happy to help you out any way I can, guys. And if you need to look for finding a doctor, and you go on my hairtransplantreality.com, I also, if you put your email in, I will send you a little document that basically tells you the questions you need to be asking every doctor you go see. Because when you look at doctors, I always say, please go talk to 5 to 10 doctors, because unfortunately, sometimes people go to the area they're in only, and they try to talk to like 3 doctors, and a lot of them are plastic surgeons, and you can't tell who's good and who's not. And the reality is most of them are not good. So, and it's not that all the plastic surgeons are a bad plastic surgeon, it's that the plastic surgeon is a plastic surgeon who is doing hair transplants to make extra money. It's not their specialty, guys. And I have a massive issue with that. If you're going to go to a doctor to move organs, which every single one of these hairs is an organ, you need to go to somebody who specializes in that. You don't go to a doctor that does general surgery to do a heart transplant. Like, it's just not what you're going to do, right? And it's even more of an issue because they do cosmetic surgery, not, transplanted surgery. And it's not that they can't do it, it's that your odds of getting a good result compared to going to a doctor that has 10 years of doing this daily is going to be much riskier, okay? So I always tell you to try to find doctors that do as much of the surgery themselves as possible. Obviously, they have to have technicians that help them with parts of it because it is a long surgery. It does take 6 to 12 hours depending on your hair loss and how much you're doing in a day. So it is a full day surgery, guys, and they do need assistance to do different parts. But you should want the doctor to be doing the actual taking out, the extraction, and also doing the design of how they put the holes in your head for where the hair is going to be laid in later, okay? So this is all very important for planning, and it is very helpful for the long-term success of how you look. Just find the doctors that do as much of the surgery as possible. Obviously, the inserting of the hair, if they have a tech or two that help them with that, that's very common. I like when the doctor does it with them. A lot of these people are starting to use tools where the hair is already in a pen, an implanter pen, and it makes it a no-brainer once the holes are done. So if the doctor professionally did the right angles for you, and then a technician goes and just pushes the hair and that's in a pen, it's very safe to say that the hair is going to be put in properly and it's not going to be damaged. Of course, do your research. sound like a crypto guy at this point, but do your research. Yeah, so this is hopefully a very helpful video for you guys. As far as my channel planning and my forced surgery planning goes, by the way, if you have questions, please comment below and I'll answer any questions I missed. I'm happy to answer them, guys. As far as planning for this channel goes, though, in my last hair transplant, obviously Dr. Panine did my first 3 hair transplants. I'm very happy with the results. I do, unfortunately, really wish, I'll show you, I mean, I've showed my head in the last videos. I do have, obviously, the crown that's weak and weakness through here. We knew that was going to be a scenario, and realistically, where we're at now is I have between 2,000 and 3,500 grafts, 25 to 3,500 grafts across the entire back and sides. Yeah, I don't know if you could show you this, but yeah, I haven't combed this, but I have a ton of donor still left. And as you can see, I had faded down to a 0 here, guys, like 5-7 days ago, maybe a week ago. And so I had like a 0 to a 2 or a 3 at the top. And so basically all the donor area was at a 2 or below. Most of it was at a 1, which was very risky to show scars, but it looked very good. And yes, there is scarring with all surgeries you do. Go watch my videos, I talk about that, and I'll do more in the future discussing how that is and how you can solve that, and solve how you can kind of cover it up. But as far as my final surgery goes, I plan to take at least a little bit of grafts from here in this area. Probably 200 to 500 is what it looks like is possible as far as talking to doctors. I'm going to have to get, my final consult done with the doctor I choose to do it. And then I do plan to take some, sorry guys, you can't really see. I do plan to take some hair from the chest, and then I will get a tattoo over it so you can't see any of the scars there. But yeah, probably 500 to 800 grafts will be taken between my chest and my beard, 500 to 1,000, let's say at best case scenario. And then 2,000 to 3,000 will take it from my head, from sides and back. And that'll leave me with something between 2,500 and 4,000 for the top of my head to, perfect any little weak points and just completely densify the crown as much as humanly possible with the hair loss I have. And I'm very, very excited for this. I think it's going to be amazing. Dr. Panine really set me up with a strong base. As I said, we could have, put it this way, in some areas here, another 20% more hairs could make it look fully dense visually. Okay, and that's basically the scenario. Like, I'd have to check with the doctor to see how much we really need density wise to make it look amazing. But the point is, because we did so many grafts through the front and through this middle area and a little bit into the crown, we're in a really good position where we can get really good density through the middle and in the front, and then put some density into the crown. Now, how great the density in the crown will be is anyone's guess. It's not as important to me. As I've said in the past, I do want to have some density there. It doesn't have to be perfect though. And then my goal would be to go through with SMP and do the sides, back, and maybe through the crown with SMP in the future. I don't intend to touch the hairline with SMP, but I do think that going through maybe the middle even, but definitely the crown and the back would add a lot of density. And also by putting SMP through here, it would go over all the scars and it would make the scars not visible, so that when I, do a fade, it would look perfect, which I'd be really excited to have done. I mean, it would be amazing to have that scenario. And I will show all these processes. I will show multiple SMP artists around the country that you can go to so you don't have to do the research yourself. And I'm going to be talking to multiple doctors for the transplants. Right now, just for transparency, guys, I could go to Dr. Panine again for my final transplant, and he'll do a great job, and I'd be very happy with that. I will say that I am speaking with Dr. Pitella in Brazil because I have to spend about 5 months this year in Brazil. And basically, if I'm going to be here for 5 months, Dr. Pitella is a phenomenal surgeon, and I would love to go to him. So I could do that, and my girl could help take care of me here, and that would work out really well for me. So that could be a possibility. And he's known for doing really large procedures and taking a lot of grafts. So I trust him with his technologies and his abilities to do a good job with the final surgery. There's also another opportunity where I have to go out to Turkey. And I know a ton of you guys are asking me for places to go there cheaper, because I know Dr. Panine is $5-6 a graft, and so is most of the top people are like $5 to $10 a graft. And I understand this is how it goes. no matter what country you're in, whether it's Bulgaria or here, there's tons of amazing doctors. They all charge a lot of money, as they should, because they have limited ability to work with people. I understand it's business. That being said, the only reason I would go to another doctor besides Dr. Panine would be to find another amazing doctor that's younger, to go ahead, or cheaper. Younger or cheaper, or both, so that people watching can have an amazing result for another 2 decades. You know what I mean? I don't know how long. I'm sure Dr. Panine will be doing this for years to come. And if you have a chance to go to him and you're near Chicago, it's a no-brainer. He's an awesome doctor. Go to him. But if you're closer to Brazil, or you prefer the results that Dr. Pitella is doing, I want to have doctors in each continent, in each country, in each state, eventually, that I can show results from for other people. But personally, I would do one myself from another country. Maybe it would be Turkey with Dr. Acar at Cosmedica. I met him in person. I saw his clinic. He does amazing work. I'm going to do a video. Actually, you know what? I'll do my next video will be on Dr. Acar. I'll show my visit to his clinic. It was actually, I felt like a rock star, okay? And I wasn't even having surgery. They made me feel super comfortable. They do have a lady that speaks English, and she was very helpful. Dr. Acar speaks English too, so you don't have to worry. A lot of the issues with clinics in Turkey is you show up and they don't speak English, or it's not the doctor doing the surgery. But here, you can pay for text, or you can pay for the doctor to do the surgery. So Dr. Acar does charge more for him to do the surgery, but it's only like $5,000, guys, okay? And actually, I'm speaking to him right now. If I do go to Dr. Acar, it would probably be March or April this year. And basically, if you guys want to come with, I'm going to ask him if I can give a little discount to any fans that want to go with me. So comment below if you want to do that, because if you do want to go to Turkey and get a transplant, that could be awesome. I'll talk about that in another video, though. Okay? But it would be fun to go with people. If you guys are cool with me filming, that would be amazing, because I need more content for my channel, and I want to show more results on people. But I would say Dr. Acar is the only person in Turkey that I do trust to do a good job. So yeah, very good, very good to know, right? And a lot of you have really asked me to find someone in Turkey that I do like, and I've searched a lot, and there's not many people that I was very happy with or trusting of. So that being said, this is kind of the plan for the next year. In the next 6 months, I will get my 4th hair transplant. I am at month 14. I plan to, by month 18, have my final hair transplant done. And then once I am 12 months into that, or 9 months into that, probably 12, I'll go do the SMP for all the scars, and then I might even do it for the crown, like I said, depending on where we're at. So my goal would be within 18 months, guys, to be showing off a perfected version of me. I do plan to get in shape this year. I did a terrible job of doing that in the past year. It was a rough year for me, guys, and I didn't do very good at following up on that. The travel schedule has made things nearly impossible for, getting in shape. And working a lot is just, not ideal for stress or working out properly, okay? Stay tuned for that, though. If you want to see me doing working out or other stuff, I'll be doing that. I actually have another thing I'm going to do. I will have another surgery for my nose. I'm not changing the shape, guys. I actually like the shape. However, on the inside, I have a deviated septum on the left side. And I also have elongated uvula / something else is enlarged at the back of my nasal cavity / throat. I forgot the name of it. I will do a full video on this. But basically, it causes snoring and can cause sleep apnea. And so to avoid having issues with breathing and to kind of fix this snoring issue and also help me breathe better, I will be going to a doctor to get that done this year too. I am currently in the middle of talking to one right now, but I'm going to talk to, probably 5 to 10 doctors like I normally would recommend you guys. I'm going to talk to 5 to 10 myself that are, the best in the world, and we will go from there. But stay tuned for that, because I think that'll be very helpful for a lot of you. A lot of people want cosmetic nose surgery, so the guys that can fix your nose can also do cosmetic too, and I'll show their cosmetic stuff when I do mine. So yeah, comment below if you're interested in these kind of videos. I will be making a ton of them, and we will be going from there. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and subscribing. It means a lot. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you soon.